Have you seen those little twinkling lights in someone's house or on social media and wondered if they'd be worth the time, effort, and money to use them in your own decorating? I did, and I figured they'd be more hassle than the enjoyment my family would get out of them. Guess what? I was wrong. Hey everyone, this is Papa, and welcome to All About It with Papa. I'd like to share with you my experience with these Harbor Breeze fairy lights. Let's get into it. Here are the nitty-gritty details. One strand of the lights is 5 feet wide and 10 foot tall, which is really tall. But that length makes sense since this type of light isn't meant to hang necessarily in a straight line pattern, but rather be free flowing like you see on this wall. This is everything that comes in the box. And one of the interesting things about this is that there are 8 separate light effects: combination, waves, sequential, slow glow, chasing, flashing, slow fade, twinkle flashing, and then steady on. Here we have the instructions and then the strands as they are spooled up when you pull them out of the box. Each set has 10 strands that hang off the main line, and each of those strands has 30 lights on each one. The wires are thin by design, and you'll want to take your time as you unwind them after unboxing them. Are they waterproof, usable outdoors? Well, they're rated IPX4, which typically means something can withstand splashes and very light rain. But I would hesitate to use them outside. I'd be safe and keep them inside. What are my thoughts? Well, I started with one set of these lights from Lowe's, and once I put them up, we loved the impact in this room so much that we wanted to fill the whole wall. So we bought 2 more. As I mentioned before, there are 8 separate light effects. This is steady. Then there's combination, which cycles through all of these other ones. And this is waves. Then there's sequential. And then what they call slow glow. Here's chasing, flashing. Then we have slow fade. Let's see if it can fade. I prefer the steady on. And then there's twinkle flashing. And then this is where we leave it with just steady on. Let's talk about the timer feature. As you can see here, I've got 2 strands on, and that blank spot is the strand that's still on a timer right now. And I want these to go on and off at the same time. And instead of getting deep into smart outlets, since I only want the steady on feature, I'm going to show you how to turn on the timer. Now, the timer, how to set the timer, is not in the printed instructions that come with it. And it's not at Lowe's.com in the instructions there. I literally did an internet search and found out how to do it and crossed my fingers and came in and did it. So let's work on that right now. Here we go. What I'm going to do now to set the timer is I'm going to push and hold the mode button, and I'm going to count 5 to 7. And you can kind of see it there underneath my finger, and a green light comes on. So that means that the timer feature is active, and the timer will now, the lights will now stay on for 6 hours and go off for 18. And in 24 hours, they'll turn right back on, which is great. So I'm going to do it again for this one as well. Press and hold. We'll do it again. Maybe we'll see. Yep, you can kind of see that green light there a little bit underneath my finger, but it really is about 5 to 7 seconds. And that's how you activate the timer feature. One of the great things about the timer feature is if you have to unplug them briefly and then you plug it back in, the feature's still set. Now, this is an obvious statement, but I'm going to go ahead and make it because it wasn't obvious to me the first time I did it. The timer resets to when you plug it back in. So that 6 hours starts at that point. Okay, good to know. I unplugged this to test how long the timer would stay in effect. And it's been about 15 minutes or so. So let's plug it back in. What do you know? Well, that's pretty good to know. So a loss of power or unplugging it for longer than just a minute or two should keep the timer active. Of course, the timer will reset and start from the moment you plug it in. Overall, with the multi-mode button and the timer, once I found it and was able to activate it, it works appropriately, and I like the fact that there's a green light on the button and lets me know the timer's still active. And that's my review of the Harbor Breeze fairy lights. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and would love to hear what you think. Did you buy some for your home? Were you happy that you did? Please don't hesitate to tell me all about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, tap the like button. And if you want to see more like this, tap subscribe because there's new stuff every Thursday. I'm Papa, and this has been All About It. See you soon.